Hi there, it's Laurie at Positive Thanks Living. Today is making a journal from a calendar. Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here, and I enjoy spending time with you. Thank you to all those that have subscribed, the new subscribers and those that have been with me for a while. It's wonderful to be together, isn't it? So this calendar is from 2003, and I didn't write a lot on it, so it would be ideal for making journal covers out of. And this is a Thomas Kinkade calendar, which is dear to my heart. We have one of his paintings on our mantle, a print, not an actual painting. So when we were moving, I went through a lot of my memorabilia, the things that I've saved over the years. This is one of them. And rather than just tossing it in a landfill, I'm going to do a junk journal style set of calendars, set of journals from the calendar. This is January. And I have some lace on the spine, lace at the edges, and music paper that is covering up the calendar part because it's upside down in the actual cover. So covering it with something else makes sense. It's a large page, so the music paper that I have is very large also. And these inserts are only 5 pages. They're tea-dyed paper, and one of the pages that I did in last week's video. I'll link to that below. Now, how I made it was just folding it in half and finding the place where it made sense to fold because of the image on the front and the back. And some of these painting images are going to be more difficult than others. But this one here, with the ship, the boat, I just held the calendar page up to the window with the music paper behind it so that I could see where the best place to put it was. Glued down a little bit of both edges, and then I scored just slightly outside of the music page so that I could fold the calendar in. The first journal I made didn't have a pocket because where I put the music page, it didn't make sense. This one was far enough to the top of the image that when I folded up the bottom, having a pocket would work. And I scored it, and as you score, it breaks the paper sometimes, and you end up having little rips. And of course, you don't want that. So I came up with a solution, and it's, I'm going to show you in a minute how I'm going to handle that. I bet you can think of what. Yep, it's washi tape. Washi tape to the rescue. And even if you can't see it on the inside, that's okay. It's a good, very thin, not bulky substrate to add so that it repairs the tear without adding too much bulk. And that's what's wonderful about doing things in a junk journal style. Even mistakes, or so-called mistakes, can be fixed. They can be hidden. They can be embellished. They can be made a feature. I enjoy watching Gail Agonistelli. She crafts she doesn't do a voiceover, she crafts in the moment. I admire that so much. She speaks as she's crafting. I can't do that. Hence the voiceover that I'm doing for my videos. But she will often just tape together a ripped page, and it becomes an element of interest as opposed to what someone else might call a mistake. And junk journaling is just like that. The things we use are beautiful. If they're not beautiful, we make them beautiful. And isn't that fun? It stretches our creativity. It stretches our ability to make things old new again. Now I'm going to make a divot in this pocket because the edge of the paper is damaged. So I just pull out my paper punch and I'm guesstimating where to put the little divots. Some people it's important to them to measure. And if that's you, please do what comes naturally to you. I'm not so much of a measurer, so sometimes things are not exact. Now, I'm repairing and strengthening the pocket area with washi tape before I glue down the sides. The glue that I'm using is called Art Glitter Glue. There is no glitter in the glue. It is just the name of the company. And because this calendar page is shiny, not porous, it causes a little more time lag before the glue dries. And I also have to use some paper clips to help the glue adhere for the amount of time that it needs to. I have a hole there at the top and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Now, I will probably become better at this, putting these journals together after doing 12 of them. But even in this second one, I changed the order a little bit. I put on the lace before I sewed in the signature this time. The first one, I put it on after the signature was sewed in, and it was a little awkward. So, yeah, some things I will complete right now, and some things I'll leave and just see how I handle it in the future journals, the other 10. For example, where I score on the calendar page, it kind of creates it's not an even bend score. And I'm thinking right now I will probably use some distress ink on the edges of the journals covers. But I don't know whether I want to use the same color for each one or whether I want to use different color of distress ink depending upon what the cover page color is. And I'll wait till the end, till I have all 12 and make that decision then. Now this one has a pocket. The first one didn't. And so I have to be careful not to glue the entire thing down because I want to be able to put something in the pocket. And reminding yourself of those sort of things as you go along is important. I kind of push slightly on the outside edges so that the pocket has the slightest, not even noticeable bow in it so that more can fit into the pocket without stressing out the paper. So there we go. We've got things glued. And I want to put on some lace. Yeah, we're a little puckered there, and I'm not sure why. Once each of the journals are finished, at least to the point that I want to finish them, I'll put them under a heavy weight. So things like that little pucker will resolve, I hope. And if not, then I'll put something over top of it. Again, junk journaling is about creating something new from something old and enhancing or disguising places where you would prefer someone to see something or not see something. And that's why this is a creative endeavor. It's not like a machine where you sort of one after the other is exactly the same. Now these are the signatures that I'm going to put in the middle. I'm deciding to put that paper napkin covered hem in the middle of the signature so that a little bit hangs out, but not too much. And the lace will hang out further than the little bit of napkin paper. I've already sewn that insert into the hem page, so I will double sew it in, I guess, when I put the signature in. Measuring out the lace. And this is crocheted lace, so it has a little heavier texture than other laces. I prefer to work with this. It's like a cotton lace. I don't know, it appeals to me. There are times where I use a lighter lace, and I'd like to actually get better at it. There's a junk journaler called Old Decina. Her name is Anne. I'll link below to her. And she layers laces and pretty papers in ways that I want to learn how to do. As you can probably tell, my style is very simple. I go for simple and easy, as opposed to ornate and lush, although I would like to learn how to do that. So that's on my list of things to learn how to do for the new year. Do you have things that you want to learn? I know we talked about it in a video earlier, and Celeste from Woodland Inspired talked about in her, she commented that she'd like to learn how to use a jelly plate. Hey Celeste, I can't wait to see when you have that kind of experience. I encourage you to try something new. Find somebody on YouTube that you admire and do a little bit of what they do. Follow along. Watch as you make also. You'll eventually make it into your own. It's kind of like writing, I imagine. Everybody talks about when you write a book or a story, each person has a unique voice. And at first, when they first start writing, their writing voice, the style of the way they put the words together, may sound like someone else's style. But eventually, after enough practice, they find their own writing voice. And I think it's exactly the same in junk journaling. We pursue the things we admire in others, and then if we do it long enough, we can create our own style, our own way of doing things. I mean, what I'm doing right now, it's not new. There's nothing new about making a journal like this. So many before me have done this and will do it after. Maybe you've already done this. But each of us will have our own style of what we do and how we make things. I'm adjusting the lace so that it's more or less even, and as a plus, this shiny calendar page the glue doesn't dry really quickly, so that I had a chance to sort of tug it open. Next, I'm going to be putting in the signature. And I remember when I first started this more than 3 years ago, I was so nervous about putting in signatures. Poking a hole through paper and through a cover that I'd worked on, that was scary. I watched so many people doing it in a video, and then I slowly began to do it myself. So it's kind of funny to realize I'm going to do it on video myself. So I measure out, this is waxed linen thread, and I measure out 2.5, the length or how tall, there we go, how tall the journal is. And that's always been enough length for me to sew it in. I do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I'm really careful to place the pages, the signature that I want to sew in in the place that I want it on the spine. And again, I don't measure. And please, if you're more comfortable measuring, absolutely measure. Even make a template. A lot of people make templates. For me, I have become comfortable with just using some paper clips and always adjusting the pages. Now, most of these pages are the same height, so I don't have to be as careful. The only thing I have to be careful about is that hymn page is facing the correct direction. You know, the title is at the top of the journal cover. And as I poke holes, you're going to see I bend the journal together. So it's not completely closed, nor is it completely flat. And I found that for whatever reason, and I'm sure there is a reason, it seems to make a better hole and make a better signature, sewing the signature in. It seems to be easier. I sped out this video just a tad, not a lot. So you're almost at real time. See how I keep pushing it so that I see that it is going to open and close easily, and the pages are pushed back against the edge of the spine. And here goes the first hole, approximately in the middle. And as I push, I'm closing, not all the way, but most of the way, the pages. And you'll see as I try to get the needle through, it's important to get your stitches through the hole cleanly through the pages and the cover. And a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, you can do it backwards. I do it this way. I start out from the middle over the spine and then come back in all the way down and then back in through the hole that I came through. It's really important to not catch the string in that middle hole where you began. Otherwise you won't be able to tighten the signature into the spine properly. Sometimes it works really easily, and sometimes it's a pain. But as you might notice, the sun coming through the window is beginning to change. I'm in a new room, in a new space, and I have yet to fully work through when I should record a video, where the sun will land. So I apologize for the sun coming through the slats of my blinds. I'll work on it in the next videos. I tie the knot 3 times, and I tie it around the middle and that's a normal way of doing a journal for me. It doesn't take long, and the strings are usually tight, and I go through each page and I fold them down, make sure their strength is adequate. They don't twist or turn or pull. And again, this is a simple journal. All the pages are the same height. And now I'm going to put on some lace on the spine. I wait to the end to do that because I want my holes and my string supported. My waxed linen signature string. I don't know what it's called. And I don't glue directly on the spine or the string. You'll see me, I glue on either side. And that gives me a chance also to make sure that the lace that I'm using, or fabric when I use fabric, is positioned so that ideally there's an equal amount on either side of the spine. And it's got a nice texture. I like this heavier cotton lace. Adhering is hard on the shiny paper, but I like the texture next to the smooth shininess of the calendar page. It feels nice. And I probably won't do any embellishment on the actual calendar page. Again, my style is simple. Maybe it'll change. But I want to see the entire Thomas Kinkade image. So, yeah. And if there's any glue that's left over, I discovered on the first one I made, I used a baby wipe and I just wiped on this shiny calendar page and it wiped off the glue. It was great. So we have a little pocket. We can put something in. So thank you for joining me. Next week, we're going to make some hidden paper clips and I'm going to add them to the journals that I have finished at that point. Would you care to guess how many I will have finished? Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think I'll be able to finish in a week. Anyhow, take care. It's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.